Alex, I spent 45 minutes yesterday hunting for a pencil that was tucked behind my own ear. If that doesn't tell you the state of my brain on a Monday morning, I don't know what will.
Only 45 minutes? You're getting faster in your old age. I usually find mine after I've already driven to the hardware store to buy a new 10-pack.
It's the Monday tax, I suppose. But we've got a lot to move through today. I've been looking at the 2026 Fab 40 list. It's basically the who's who of metal fabrication, and the gear coming out right now makes the stuff I started with look like stone hatchets and wishful thinking.
I saw that on the blog. You were nerding out over a nibbler? Which, by the way, sounds like a very aggressive woodland creature.
The Snap-on 14.4 microlithium. And don't let the name fool you, it's a beast. Back in the day, if you wanted to cut a curve in sheet metal without distorting the edge, you'd be wrestling with manual snips until your forearm looked like Popeyes and your hands were covered in speed bites from the burrs. This thing just eats. It takes these tiny semicircular bites out of 16-gauge mild steel, leaving a path so clean you'd swear it was laser cut.
You mentioned it does aluminum and brass, too. Is there a catch? Usually when a tool makes life that easy, it costs as much as a used truck or breaks the second you drop it on a concrete floor.
Well, it's Snap-on, so you aren't finding it in a bargain bin. But the real shift here isn't just the power, it's the mobility. We're moving away from being chained to an air compressor. No more tripping over yellow hoses or listening to a pancake compressor kick on every 30 seconds while you're trying to think.
Speaking of tripping over things, you actually seemed excited about cable management? I thought your shop philosophy was, if I can still see the floor, I haven't worked hard enough.
Hey now, I've evolved. I saw these new magnetic safety hangers from MSA Magnetics. It's such a dead simple solution, it makes me want to kick myself for not dreaming it up. You just slap these magnets onto any I-beam or metal shelving, and you can route your leads and cords overhead or tight against a wall.
It's the safety-first version of Tiger. I'm impressed.
It's more not wanting to do a faceplant into my joiner first. But there's a bigger picture here. The Fab 40 data is showing that we aren't just building widgets anymore. The money right now is in AI infrastructure, data centers, power generation cabinets. All that digital cloud stuff we use actually lives in big metal boxes, and somebody has to weld them.
So, if you're a metal fabricator and you're still just making custom gates for neighbors, you might be missing the boat?
Exactly, the breeze is blowing toward high tech. If you can fabricate to the tolerances these data centers need, your order book is going to be full for a decade.
That's metal, but what about the wet side of things? You've been talking about the trade career spotlight, and apparently, plumbers are going back to school.
They have to. The 400 level courses at places like PPA Tech are exploding. We're seeing guys and girls who have been in the trade for 10 years paying out of their own pockets for advanced certifications.
Wait, why would you pay for your own training if you're already employed? Shouldn't the boss be footing the bill?
In a perfect world, sure. But look at it this way. If you wait for the company to train you, you're on their timeline. If you go out and master high-efficiency heat pumps or smart hydronic systems on your own, you aren't just a wrench anymore. You're a specialist. You're the person they send when the expensive problems happen. That's how you jump from making a living to naming your price.
It's basically the maker version of a master's degree, but with more practical application and fewer student loans.
And a lot more solder.
Speaking of naming your price, let's talk business. The Maker Mogul section of the blog had a pretty blunt takeaway. Instagram is no longer just for showing off, it's for selling.
This one hits home. I've always been the guy who thinks if I build a gorgeous cabinet, they'll come find me. But in 2026, if you make someone leave an app to find your website, you've already lost them. You have to tag the product right there in the video.
But isn't that, I don't know, a little salesy? I feel like if I go to a maker's page and it's just buy this, I unfollow.
That's where the 80-20 rule comes in. It's a classic for a reason. 80% of what you post should be the dirt, the sawdust, the oops, I cut that board too short moments. People want the story, they want to see the sweat. The other 20%, that's where you gracefully point to the shop link. If you give them the journey, they'll celebrate the destination with their wallets.
I like that. Selling the journey. It feels less like an infomercial and more like an invitation.
Exactly. And when you do step out of the digital world for those weekend pop-up markets, quit reinventing the wheel every Friday. I used to spend 4 hours just figuring out where to put my table. Now, I've got a blueprint. Everything fits in the same 3 crates, and the layout stays the same.
You've systematized your hobbies, Tiger. You're becoming efficient. It's a little scary. Okay, let's wrap with the fun stuff. DIY mastery. I saw the Trex hack in the notes. That's actually brilliant.
Isn't it? Someone used composite decking, the stuff you usually walk on, to build the doors for an outdoor kitchen. Think about it. It's designed to be rained on, snowed on, and baked in the sun for 25 years. It'll never rot, and it matches the deck perfectly.
There's got to be a catch. Is it heavy?
It's heavy as lead, and it moves. That's the trade tip for the day. Composite material expands and contracts like it's breathing. If you screw it down tight, like it's a piece of oak, it'll buckle or snap the heads off your fasteners when the sun hits it. You have to give those screws some room to breathe. It's like a marriage, Alex. Structure is good, but if you don't leave some space for growth, something's going to crack.
Tiger turning deck building into relationship advice. That's a first.
I'm just saying, I've seen enough warped boards and broken hearts to know that tension is the enemy of longevity.
What about the Blacktail Ranch project? You mentioned they found the truth of the building.
That's a polite way of saying they opened up a wall and found out the previous owner's idea of structural support was a stack of old magazines and hope. Don't ever trust a remodel that looks too pretty on the outside until you've seen the bones. They had to pivot from making it look nice to making sure it doesn't fall down in a stiff breeze.
It's the unglamorous part of DIY that no one wants to show in a 30-second reel.
But it's the most important part. That's my main takeaway for anyone starting a backyard project this month. Drainage first, decor second. You can have the most beautiful stone patio in the world, but if the water has nowhere to go, you just built yourself a very expensive, very shallow swimming pool.
So, the lesson of the day: clip your cables, certify your skills, tag your products, and let your deck boards breathe.
Sounds like a solid Monday to me. It's about being intentional. Whether you're cutting steel with a nibbler or trying to build a business on your phone, the trick is to stop reacting and start planning.
Well, go find your pencil, Tiger. We've got work to do.
I think it's in the freezer. I went for an ice cube an hour ago, and well, that's a story for next time.
See you in the den.